just goes and gets it, you know? She
Oh
goes
yeah.
and gets
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the name of the game, and that's kind of what we talk about on this broadcast. Is we talk about going out and getting it, making things happen. Living your dreams,
it.
taking your passion and turning it into your profession, and having a great
Absolutely.
relationship at home, and all of these different things that go into being successful. I think that people think being successful is just making millions of dollars and driving a fancy car. It's actually not. That's only one piece of the pie.
That's right, man. That's right. That is only one piece of the pie. It's only one piece of the pie. So I don't have your passy. This is incredible. This is the beauty about being live. I just got naked children coming to get me. Where's your mom at? Going live. But yeah, man, it's that's what it's about. It's about being nimble too and pivoting when you can. Right now in this pivot, I got some children coming in, walking in. Supposed to be some me time in my studio, but dude, I could care less. I think this is raw.
Yeah, whatever.
As transparent as possible, and do my thing. Hey, I do want you guys just to sit. Hey, I do want you guys to sit. We might have to end this early, but
no, we're not ending it early.
I don't want there to be a whole lot of distraction. But I did want to talk about your alpha image, and what is an alpha image? What is that? What is that about? Baby, you're naked and you're dancing.
I'm okay.
Here, take it. Please take her. Please take her real quick. Yeah. Please take her. There we go. We got to be nimble. There's the kid. It's like that. It's like that episode. I don't know if you guys ever saw that video that just went viral. It was like from a couple years back, but it was that news guy, and he goes in, and all of his kids are in the background. Then this kid, this little baby on this walker comes in.
I've seen that one.
And then the maid comes, and she
comes running in, his wife or the housekeeper or whoever.
Oh my God! Yeah,
she's like dragging her out of the room. Oh, that's a great one.
It was great, man. It was great, but no, man. Sometimes you just got to adapt, and you gotta pivot, and you gotta make do, and that's where end. We're in the same scenario right now. We're quarantined, and we just gotta be with our kids, and it's amazing. Even as I'm taking notes, I got this right. I'm taking notes, on some podcasts that I was listening to, and just getting a deeper dive into some knowledge that I wanted to put in my brain. And I got kids all hanging out with me. I put it on Instagram, so it's pretty cool to just be nimble, right? And perspective, because I know that can really change your mindset, and that ultimately can you can take that as a positive and a negative. I just had a conversation with one of my guys today, one of my team members, and he was struggling with he lost access to his Skype, and that's how we communicate. And he lost access to his Skype, and I'm like, look, man, I was like, we can either take this as negative or a positive. How are we going to make it a positive, and how are we going to get through this? What are action items that we can take to actually make that work? And I like the acronym of ACT, right? Is action changes things. Action changes things. So if you're listening today, man, write that down because that acronym is huge. Action is the first step. You got to take the first step. And you can't just sit there on the sidelines. I was actually having a discussion with my dad this morning. I set up a mastermind with him because I appreciate his input on some stuff. He brings a lot of clarity. And so we're just going through some stuff in our abiding state. What's up, Israel? How you doing, brother? The one thing, what's up, Pete? The one thing I just encourage him, man, is we just got to act, but we got to act with a mindset that we're coming up with a solution. So action is the first step. The acronym of action changes things. And the one thing that I wanted to get into, though, what is your alpha image? I think that's a huge, in today's age, we just think of alpha being the He-Man. I got to dominate and I got to win. I got to win, win, win. And it's all about winning. All I do is got to win, 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 right? And I did have that mentality. I think for a long time, I had that mentality of I just got to win. I just got to be a winner. I hated losing so much that winning was just a byproduct because I just literally focused on it so much that I had to, baby, here, can you sit right here, babe? Because I'm just dipping into stuff. You're phenomenal. Thank you so much. And we don't got to worry about this right now. we're not gonna focus on that. I don't know what that is, but we'll just get something revolving going on. But it's fine. But so what I wanted to dive into, right, was dude, I look actually kind of like Matthew McConaughey, don't I? Got that smile, so that might be.
You got
good.
A little bit of that look going on there.
Yeah, brother. Maybe I'll just. Oh no, now it's switching up on me. So, anyways, what is your alpha image? One second. No, I know. 1 second. It's okay. What is your alpha image? What is your alpha image? And I think, as I look and reflect, and I think reflecting is just extremely pivotal, right? It's something that even I had a discussion with my dad today was that reflection point. I don't mean to get off topic, but that reflection is so important. And John Maxwell, he just dives into this like full circle. Daily reflection is so important to have, and having that daily reflection allows us to improve things, right? And I was even in my time of reflection, I was thinking of the alpha image. What does that look like? I tried, to be, I think, over the course of probably as like a teenager, in my adolescence, going into my early 20s. This image that I need to be an intimidator, right? I got into lifting weights. I just got into, I was putting up 365 pounds, benching 365 pounds, squatting 400 pounds. And I just thought that was the end all be all. My buddy were into it, working out 2 to 3 times a day, and just thought that was it. That was the thing. That's going to set my identity. And, or a car, like whatever. We set these identities, these things in place that creates that alpha within us. And I was just thinking about this, and I'm like, how crazy is it that that society today, that's what the image is, right? To get like I want a great physique, right? I still think of that as like, okay, I want to work out and I want to look really good and I want to get muscular and big. That's not my identity. My identity is something completely else, something else. And so, like, as I revolve and I reflect on different spots in my life, that I'm like, it was a learning experience of what alpha truly means today. So alpha has completely changed my mindset as far as what that looks like. And I just want to go through a few things and things I took notes on, because I do listen to some people that are alphas, right? But alphas in their own right, and it's completely different than what, I think society portrays an image of alpha today. So I just wanted to let you know, by nature, though, I am a competitor. So I just compete. Right now, I don't really compete against anybody else but myself. And but I think that element of being the alpha is ultimately what is it that really is going to be the definition of the alpha. Oh, dang.
Yeah.
We're hitting on all cylinders today, brother. We're hitting on all cylinders.
This is why Matt's not in charge.
But I think this is so important
of the media. Matt is not the media guy for a reason.
That's what I love about being live, is being raw. So it's being good. So, anyways, is what I wanted to dig into today, though, is that alpha image and baby, come on. I know, baby. I know.
She's bringing out that alpha image of you, though, Matt, because here's what's happening is you're in a situation where you're not trying to present yourself as perfect online. Your kids are obviously sabotaging your broadcast.
I wish it was a little bit more perfect, but at the end of the day, dude, I think this is incredible, and I want people to experience it and know that this is the day-to-day. And I'll tell you what, I struggled with it even today as I'm like trying to take notes. I mean, right now, things are not going to be perfect. This is Corona care, right? I say it. This is wild. I put it on my personal page. My middle daughter peed on a bag of potatoes. People are already DMing it. Hey, dude, the potatoes are going to be fine. You can still eat them. We didn't eat them. I don't know. It's just something. I get it. We didn't eat the potatoes though. But hey, it is not going to be perfect, especially now, today and age. But I was thinking about this, and I was really, what is my alpha image? What does that look like? And as I try to get back on track, I just at the end of the day, dude, this is crazy. This is wild. Getting phone calls right in the middle of this too, popping in. But what I'm trying to really portray at the end of the day is, what is it that we reflect in ourselves? I'm a competitor by nature. That's one thing I was building on. I'm a competitor by nature. And I think a lot of times it was my absolute, hate for losing that ultimately determine my winning. So ultimately, Genevieve, you can't ask me 100 times. I promised you. I'll let you. I swear, I will. I will, baby. I'll let you. This is crazy. I love it. I love it. You got to keep your
zone.
Shift, though. This is the mindset. This is the reality of that I live in too every day. Is that that we do have 3 kids, right? And how am I going to determine this area? So I literally have to practice what I preach right now, dude. What 80 different things are going on right now. This is the day to day, and I know this is a lot of the viewers. It's just that you're going to have to adapt, and you're going to have to run through some things, but you're going to have to put a smile on your face. You're going to have to get perspective. It's crazy. That's why I feel for all these stay-at-home moms are crazy. I love them. Like, it's great. Like, how do you do it every day? Like, you have so many things going on. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to take a phone call. And then you got to, can I watch something? Can I watch something? Can I do this? Can I do that? But, I think, and unfortunately, I'll have to tell you, I bribed a little bit. So, babe, I promise you, I'll give you something when we're done, baby. But let me get through this. So I definitely want people to hear this. So I'm going to, I'm teaching her, though, even too, as she's growing up, like I'm teaching her about real estate, asking her about different questions, right? What's the true definition of wealth, and how I'm building wealth, and how we determine those things. So that is ultimately, I'm teaching her real estate, but I'm true to like, what is the purpose? What is the vehicle? And what ultimately is that going to determine what is success to us? But what does an alpha image look like? The alpha image across the board for me is a number of different things, but I want to dig in, and then I'm going to ask a couple questions above and beyond that. Come on. You can't be howling.
I can hide.
All right, stop. Hey, do you want to get on camera with me? All right, then if you could be quiet for a little bit, Daddy's just got to get it through this for a couple minutes, and then boom, I'm back at it. Yeah, cool? Deal. All right. So alpha image, and so when I changed my focus on what's going to determine the level of what alpha looks like to me. So I am an alpha by nature. It comes out in me in different ways, but it literally my focus completely changed on others. And instead of it being internally focused as far as my level of intimidation or what I wanted to impose on people, it's how I can serve people, right? That's my definition of alpha now, is how I can serve people in a greater capacity that really is going to change, the reflection on, number one, who I am, right? How can I serve others? I think that Tony Robbins has a really good, how he literally, his singular focus is how he ultimately can serve other people, serve before serving self. Yes, you have to work on yourself twice as much, but what does working on yourself look like at the end of the day? So I work on myself by putting podcasts, putting these things that are going to allow me to grow to another level, and then ultimately giving it back to somebody else, but serving in that capacity any way that I can. My dad and I were talking about, there's so many people right now that are losing their jobs, and that hunger is a real thing, right? Abroad, when you're thinking abroad, Ecuador, Dominican Republic, there's people that are opening up nonprofits now just to feed the hungry, because it's the same thing stateside, but the government is funding us money to do these things, and then we can ultimately eat, right? So there is, though, even stateside in our current domestic affairs that we have people going hungry. So it's one of those things, just that that focus is being outward focused, and what ultimately is that alpha image. So I just wanted to ask a few questions, right? What is your alpha image? Is it I've come to the terms, it's asking for help, right? I think that it's showing that level of vulnerability. I know I talk about these things over and over again, but showing that level of vulnerability that I need help in this situation, or I need help with this. So is it your ability to ask for help? Is it asking your wife for help? I ask my wife for help all the time, writing things. She constantly corrects me in different areas, and I'm like okay with that. I'm okay with asking for help, because I know that shows my level of vulnerability, and it allows me to lead my family that much better. So I am the alpha in my family, but it starts with me asking for help. Is it apologizing to your 16-year-old son because of the way you reacted when he came out? Like, dude, that happened to me. My brother is gay, And that happened to me. I saw that transpire, right? And I like the way things were reacted and how I learned from the way I even reacted to it. Dude, I had to apologize, and I've grown so much more from that and grown so much more of a myopic clarity because of the way I reacted. My dad would probably say the same thing. Like, his reaction probably was not the best, right? He was preconditioned to think one way. Instead, he thinks probably a completely other way now. So it's ultimately like, what is your alpha? Are you determining, what that image looks like? My alpha image is something completely different than it was, 5 and 10 years ago. So my alpha image now today is to ask for help to really determine, what alpha looks like to me. Is it asking for a friend for help because your marriage is going south? That's also another thing. Maybe help me out here. I've just got through a couple more punches. Help me, please. This is crazy. I love it. But is it asking for help because your marriage is going south, right? Dude, this is incredible. I love it, dude. This is the reality of life.
I mean, this is one of those
TV's
things.
not working, but you got to embrace it. I love it. But I'll tell you what, this determines my alpha, right? This is the level of like the reality that I live in, that I choose to live with a smile, right, on my face. You choose. Pat interviewed a guy with no legs a couple weeks ago, and ultimately turned that into a business. He has a fitness company. He determined his alpha by saying, I'm not going to let my conditions or my surroundings or what I consider my handicap to be a handicap. And, I don't want my mind to be a handicap to me. And that's ultimately that's not going to define me. And it ultimately determines what's your alpha image. So what is my alpha image? What is that going to be? I think in many ways has shaped me. My brother being gay and me trying to understand, that world. I'm a heterosexual. He's a homosexual. How does that work? And being brothers and just being strong together for it. So it's completely changed my definition of what an alpha image looks like. It's not that, that football mentality where I want to get in there and I want to lift as much weight, and then I'm gonna look to intimidate everybody. I'm gonna overcome you. I'm gonna be the beast in this scenario. That's just not what that looks like to me. At 18 to 22 years old, if you're playing football, nothing wrong with playing football. I'm not a massive football fan by any means. I was, now I'm not. I'm really not just a massive sports. I think I've mentioned this. It's more the psychology that I love in sports, that really the overcoming, the perseverance that creates that really gives that it factor to me. I enjoy golf. Golf is just a really cool game. I think it's a mind game that's pretty cool. But it determines, like, that's the alpha that I think of, how I can get better, better and sharper in my mind, to not intimidate, but so that it would allow me to grow and become better. So your marriage, like for me, my marriage is the most important thing, right, of here on earth, being the alpha in that marriage, but ultimately just saying, hey babe, what do you need? What's your needs, wants, and desires? And then this is what I need. And I'm asking for help. I'm asking for help. I'm being vulnerable to that. Is it changing your infant child in the middle of the night so your wife can sleep, right? Is that it? Am I too big a man to do that? I try, dude, I sleep hard. So that's actually a real struggle for me. But I try to find ways that, can benefit my marriage, which is ultimately going to benefit me both personally and professionally. Is it reconciling with a relationship with a mom you've resented for years? Is it simply just asking for help? Those are the things that, I wanted to bring. Asking questions is the reality. I don't want to spend too much. I know I can dig into more questions, but is that, what's your growth factor? Is it asking those questions, going to a reflection period that ultimately is going to determine your alpha image? What's your alpha image look like? And then ultimately, I just want to end on a few things that I wrote down here. And I think, your alpha image, without a doubt, if it can go this way too. And this is what I consider the prideful, obviously, alpha image. You haven't come to reality. You're constantly digging. You're trying to intimidate. I've been here. So this is where I'm coming, that I am on the other side of this. But I have been here. And these are some of the questions that I wrote down in reflection, right? Is your alpha getting as strong as possible, being an ox, like I said, squatting 400 pounds, benching 365 pounds, just wreaking intimidation where I ultimately, any room that I walk into that I want to be an intimidator. That's just something that I know that I was there, right? I wanted to be the intimidator. I wanted to intimidate people. And business, I was almost like that too. You know what I mean? I want to you accelerate until I found out that transparency is king, right? Being completely transparent is the most beneficial thing. I think that's what I'm being right now, right? Going live, having naked kids crawling up on me. That's the definition of transparency right there. I don't got it all together. I'm not trying to pretend like I got it all together, but I'll tell you that I have some really, really good content. I have some really good stuff that is some amazing. And one thing I've been working on is my alpha image, right? It just completely redefining that of what my alpha image looks like and how I'm going to lead well in every single relationships, any single relationship that I had, whether it's in my marriage, whether it's in my business or professional or personal life. I want to make sure I lead well. And you can be an alpha. I'm not saying alpha is bad, but how are you defining your alpha image? Or, another thing is how much tail can you get on the weekend? This is both male or female. That's I call it tail. There's women that are catching tail. There's men that are catching tail. But what is it? What is that? If that's your definition of what your alpha is, it the takedown of an individual? Is it like that? Is what the tail factor? I love that, Pat. Thank you. So or at the end of the day, it's like this. A lot of people around my environment, right? We're constantly like money. You got to pay the bills, right? So and I live by the money is the root of all evil, but. Is money bad? No, money's not bad. It's what you're using it for. Is it going to be a tool? And so stop for a minute. Just let me get through this. Can you?
Genevieve, bring it together. You got this.
Killing it. Money is a tool.
Everyone's rooting for you, Genevieve. We're all rooting for you.
She is not. Come here, babe. Come here right now. Come here.
Might as well just sit on his
lap.
lap and join the show.
We're going in the conclusion. But
Can you do in a different room so I can watch?
You're not going to watch anything. We're going to the conclusion. I got to move on. This is it. But so then, anyways, the last question that I wanted to ask: how much money is it? Is it how much money I can stockpile in cash? Because money is power, right? Money is it like that's not the tool. We're going into a cash-based scenario. We're going through a capital raise, so I'm constantly trying to do things. I'm trying to move the wheel. I'm trying to get better. But it's one thing that I'm even leading in, my personal and professional life. That's why I don't even mind having my daughter here. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Whether, I can't change things, but I think that, it's ultimately how we react to things. And, we do have to put a smile. A smile actually changes things. And what is your alpha image going to be? How is it going to be defined at the end of the day? I think that, cash, stockpiles of cash, that is going to be, a lot of people's alpha image. At the end of the day, is that going to define you? Is that really going to define you? And if it is, man, that's going to be that's going to be a tough one to define, and how you used it, and if you used it well. So I just, I wanted to bring that to you. I just wanted to add a little value. I know that there's a bunch of things going on, pretty wild today, I think that, but I think it's a key point, right? What is your alpha image? What is that going to be? Is that going to define you? And if it is going to define you because you are that alpha, I encourage you, right? Where is that going to take you? Where is that going to ultimately, what are things that you can work on? And I can go over these questions again, really. And but I think what it boils down to is really like asking for help, right? There's a certain piece that is, there's a certain piece really that it comes down to is that we got to be vulnerable. We realize that there's insecurities across the board, and how we completely expose ourselves and be completely transparent and really redefine what the alpha image looks like. I'm trying to be an all-star dad, especially right now when I'm getting the balls thrown at me. What is that? Is that going to define me? Am I going to sit here and scold my girl because she wants to be a part of my life? Absolutely not. I'm not going to scold that. This is the beauty of being a dad. And I think it's what my alpha image looks like. I'm showing you what my alpha image looks like. This is me, right? This is just the reality of me.
She is definitely taking you to the next level this morning.
I hope she does, man. I hope she does. I hope there's plenty of views out there. Please subscribe to my channel. That's all I got for you today. We'll probably have to talk a little bit more about the alpha image if some of this stuff. I got terrible hands apparently too. But hey guys, I love you. This is Reap the Harvest Live. We'll definitely catching you soon. Love you all. But this is the reality. This is my alpha image.
So it's funny, dude. It's like my goal with bringing you on and doing this is a lot of people that are producers or stuff, or that do what I do with media. They just sell someone a package and they say, hey, you record it and I'll produce it and post it. They don't want to really get in the gutter and be a part of the nitty gritty daily grind with somebody. And, you know, I'm sure there are people out there that do. I would say a majority of people don't. And so this is part of the process of, you know, this personal development journey that you're on. So always a pleasure to be a part of it and to bring your persona to life online. And so, you know, it's a beautiful thing, brother. It's a pleasure to be doing this with you. So
cool, man. I appreciate it. And there will be, I just reaffirmed, there will be no troubles after this this episode. There's no repercussions, man. Well, there's no repercussions.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, bro. I got a smile on my face, and I promise you, this is my reality. When I walk out, when we close down on this camera, this is just the reality that we live in right now. This is absolutely Corona care. I try to live completely transparently, and you got the real side of what the Matt Tack is today. So please subscribe to Reap the Harvest. You know, hopefully you got some good content out of this, and we'll see you later. But we out for now. Peace. Yeah, we can, baby.